I'm highly delighted to welcome these young men back to freedom. At the time they were convicted and sentenced to death in 2014, their hope was dashed. Together with, this is a group of 12. Later, another group of 58 soldiers were also convicted and sentenced to death by military courts that sat in Abuja. As I did explain to the military authorities, the conviction of the 70 soldiers was designed to divert the attention of the public from the diversion of the huge fund earmarked for procurement of arms and ammunition for the prosecution of the insurgency operation, counter-insurgency operations in the northeast zone. Unfortunately, we were not listened to because the society was made to believe that these were the saboteurs, war criminals who were frustrating the country from defeating the insurgents. But since then, we now had to make a representation to the authorities, that these young men were asking for arms. They wanted to be fully equipped to confront the well-equipped troops of the satanic Boko Haram sect. The authorities didn't listen to them. So they were convicted and sentenced to them. Because the authorities did not have the facilities to try others, about 3,001 other soldiers were kicked out of the army for the same offense. So, in making a representation on their behalf, all of them, we had to point out with concrete evidence that the money set aside, appropriated by the National Assembly for purchasing military hardware could not be located. And that was why the Boko Haram sect appeared to be gaining upper hand. The authorities consider our representation and find merit in it. Hence, the death sentences imposed on them were commuted to 10 years imprisonment. We also defended some soldiers, some military officers, including 2 generals, who got all of them discharged and acquitted, except a general whose rank was reduced to a colonel. We're still battling, when in respect of some of the cases were either in the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court. Along the way, we were able to get the Court of Appeal to release 4 of the group of 58. One was released in the group of 12 on the ground of presidential amnesty, for reasons best known to the authorities. The others, who were also qualified for the presidential amnesty were not released, so we had to go to court. So that is pending in the Federal High Court. Unfortunately, you know, we should have got all of them out by now through the court. But for the strike of the judicial staff, you know, which has compelled the Federal High Court to postpone their case, you know, signing that, you know. But essentially, I'm happy that they are out. I mean, this group, we're expecting that the other group, the 54 others, will be released in August when they will have completed their term, prison term. That is if we are not able to get them out through the court, you know. But because we are convinced of their innocence, we are pursuing their matters in the appellate courts. The government itself has confirmed through a presidential panel that the money earmarked for purchase of military equipment was stolen by well-known military officers, just a coterie of generals. And just because we operate in a class society, those big fat cats, you know, are walking free in the society, while these young ones have been sacrificed, you know. But we're not going to allow such injustice to go unchallenged.
Now, let me ask you finally, sir, what relief are you seeking for on behalf of these officers who have just been released at this point in time?
Well, we want to ensure that they are pardoned in line with the terms of the presidential amnesty granted to all manners of prisoners early in the year, right? We have got the charges. I mean, 4 of them have won their appeal, you know. Others have their appeals pending in either the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court. Once they are exculpated, for sure, we're going to ask that they be reinstated, particularly those who are still prepared to serve. As I did say, we're able to get the 3,001 dismissed soldiers reinstated. We have also gone to the ECOWAS court and we succeeded in getting the court to order the payment of compensation and entitlement to about 345 other soldiers. You know, so and we're appealing to the authorities to reabsorb them, just like the 3,001 have been reabsorbed. Yeah. It's the same fine. They too were asking for weapons to fight, you know. So since there is equality before the law, we are going to insist that all the soldiers be treated equally.